Dr. Randy here, and we're going to talk about DNA testing for our pets.
And it's good to be back. It's Olivia here too. Our question today is, why should I get a DNA test done for my pet?
This is a really great question. And of course, up until somewhat recently, we really didn't have those available to us.
Yeah.
But we now have a couple great tests out there that can really help. And the idea is, most people think, oh, I'm going to get a DNA test on my little mixed breed dog because I'd love to know what the breeds are.
And I've done that.
Yeah, and that actually is a really good reason to do it because there are breed characteristics that we want to learn from. You know, if you have an Aussie in your breeding or a border collie, these are herding dogs. And that herding behavior can be really helpful in abnormal behaviors that they may exhibit at the home.
That makes a lot of sense.
Why is that dog moving my 3-year-old around or chasing and biting at his heels? Well, that could be the reason. But there's even better, I like a better reason for DNA testing, and that is that DNA testing now can relay a number of heritable diseases that we might do something about or be able to do something about if we're proactive. You know, for example, there are 2 tests that I really talk about.
Okay.
Embark and Wisdom. So Embark will do up to 300 specific DNA tests for genetic diseases in our pets. And that's amazing because, you know, if your dog, for example, comes up with congestive heart failure or cardiomyopathy, which is an enlargement of the heart, it's nice to know that up front we can talk about heart-related diets, supplements, that kind of
get into the preventative measures of, we know this might happen down the road, so let's kind of address it now.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
You know, and it really kind of helps us with personalized care for every pet, having those answers in place. So I love having that. The Wisdom panel does a few less of those DNA tests, but still can be very, very positive. So just so you know, these panels come as like little test kit with swabs.
Okay, and so do we just like swab the inside of our dog's mouth?
Absolutely. You swab the inside of the dog's mouth, you send it over to Embark or Wisdom, and in no time you'll have those answers. And obviously you really want to make sure you share that with your veterinarian.
And that's really interesting because I've always heard of, you know, oh, we want to test them to see if they have any of these mutations in their genes, if they have anything spooky that's going on. I've never considered a behavioral aspect of it, that if you have a herding dog or if they have husky in there, maybe that's why they're pulling on the leash so much, you know?
Right, and run off suddenly and don't come back for 24 hours.
I have 3 huskies.
This can happen. Yeah, this can happen, as you know.
Yes, it happens quite frequently.
Yep.
But that's a really good point, and that's really interesting, kind of taking it from a broader approach instead of just being, you know, here's what they're predisposed to. Well, here's also, you know, why they're exhibiting that behavior and kind of leaning into maybe he needs a job, maybe he needs to do this. So that's really interesting.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us on DNA, and hope we'll provide more. You can find more of us at Dr. Randy Pet Vet or at Dr. DRSACCI, Dr. Sachi. And please follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and tell your pet friends who have pets. Also, it gives us a great ability for Olivia and I to bring more information to you all the time.
Perfect. And if you guys have any questions or your friends have any questions, all of those platforms, YouTube, Instagram, those are great places to put those questions, those comments, and also your website.
Absolutely.
So feel free to do that. And thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.